Hi guys, and welcome back to Christian Cast, where I build bait so you don't have to. Today we are back in the bait building workshop. Weather is terrible, and I actually am designing a big swim bait. I'm not too sure what I hold of the fins yet. I'm still going to change a little bit on this one, but we're going to try and go a little bit bigger than we usually do. So that's one of the side projects that I've got, and today is going to be a quick and easy paint scheme for the lipless crankbait. I've put on a foil, as you can see. We're going to try it again, see if we get a little bit better, if this version works better than the last one. If you haven't seen it, I'll pop it up here or there. And we're also going to be using two new 3D printed stencils. I printed them a little bit thinner, that they're a bit flexible, so we can go a little bit with the curve of the bait. And I'll straight away set you guys up onto the desk, and we'll start grounding the outlines of our bait with some white, as we always do. So see you on the desk. I've got you guys set up, and as you can see, I've got some white in, and we're just gonna go ahead and go over the top and put on our first coat. So that is going to be the first layer. I'll let this dry, then I'll go over it once again, just to make sure that we really cover everything nicely with the white ground paint. And then we will be heading into a little bit of color. As I said, it's going to be a very simple paint scheme today. We're just going to be using around 6-7 colors. I also tried actually hot stamping the foil, because I didn't know if my foil is actually a hot stamping foil or if it's a sticker, and I just thought, oh, maybe that's why I'm struggling so much. Tried the hot stamping, doesn't work at all, so it is a sticker, and it's just meant to be a little bit harder than anything else, but we'll get there. The next foil I'll get is going to be a hot stamping foil, and we'll go into that in the future, because that seems like a really cool process to get foils and stickers like this for details on your lures, but we'll go into detail in a other video. So I'll let this dry and get you guys back once I put on some color. So the next color is going to be some blue-green, and we're going to go over the back and also a little bit on the sides. Like this. And then we'll grab them and about like that. So we've got the first part of blue, and I'm quite happy with that, and we'll leave him just as is. And now we're gonna go ahead and add a little bit of a darker blue. I'm not too sure if we're gonna do a metallic blue or a different kind, but I think we'll keep the metallic blue to use after using the stencil lightly to clean up any overspray, but I'll anyway take you guys with. So I've got our different tone of blue in, and we'll just go ahead and darken down the top. Like that. Not quite done on this side. There we go. Now I'll come over very lightly and make a little bit of a mix. Between the two blues. About like that. So I'm quite happy actually with how that is looking for now. I'm gonna go over the belly with some yellow, and we'll make some, I think we'll do some metallic black spots. I'm looking if I've got a different blue still. Or I might do the stencil with this blue very lightly along the bait, so it's even less colors than I actually first anticipated for, because I don't want to be too rough with what we're working with down here, because we're anyway going to add scales and everything else still on, and I would like to keep it quite clean and just see how the foil itself comes out without overtoning it with a lot of other things. I still want to add a stencil, but I'll try to be very light with it today, so we'll see how that goes. So we've got our lure and we've got a new type of stencil, and we'll add this along just like that, and just make a hint of the pattern on there. So we'll see how it comes out after the clear coat, but I'll let that dry, do the other side, and then I'll get you guys back once we start with the belly, because I'm still going to do a little bit of work on the belly today with some yellow, and then we'll go ahead and do our scales. So as you see, I added some really bright yellow, and I'm actually liking the back with this white. So we're just going to go ahead and do the front part of the lure with some yellow. So just about like that. So that I'm quite happy with for the pattern today. It's going to be, as I said, a very easy. You'll need two different types of blue, some yellow and white. So, and the silver for the scales. And if you want, you can still add some some fins. But I'm still thinking of that if I'm gonna actually do it or not, because it does deck quite a bit of the foil. But I think I will actually. And I might do it with some dark blue and white to keep in the blue theme today. So because I'm anyway planning on being very light with the scale pattern today, we're going to be using some pearly white, and I think we'll just blend it in a little bit. Just like that. Now I'll twist them to the side. Now I'll do some gentle passes. And that's going to be the scales. I'll leave the pearly white in because we're going to do it with, we're going to use it as a background for our fin stencil. So we might change it up a bit. Use a darker blue for the detail work and the white for underneath. I'm not too sure yet. Or maybe I'll do it like I always did because I actually like the fins. So we'll see that in the next step. It is hopefully dry, and we'll straight away take a look at what we're working with for the next steps. I hope that we didn't cover up too much of the foil and that it still comes through nicely. But as you see, that is actually quite cool. So I'm quite happy with how this has turned out until now. So now I'm still gonna add the fins with my fin stencils, and I'll take you with on that process in the next step. So as you see, I've got my paper for adding the fin stencil again, and we're gonna go ahead and place him like this. I might be printing a new stencil because I've been coloring already quite a lot with this one, and we're gonna see how it goes. So it's gonna be a blue background, as I said, and we're gonna swap up, and as soon as this is dry, I also try to not go too heavy on the scale itself because it picks out a little bit more from the background if you're a little bit lighter. And now we'll just go ahead and grab our pearly white and make sure to align our stencil. It's hard to see through all the color, but I think that should be it. And there we go. So we've got a very light, fitting to the theme today itself, a blue light little fin like this. So we'll just keep it. I'll turn it around once it's dry, do it on the other side, and then we'll go ahead, glue in some eyes, and then we'll look at it under the clear coat because that is what we actually are waiting for. So what is better than finishing a blue build with some nice blue tiger eyes? So we'll go ahead, and that is a little bit too much, but nothing we can't fix with a little bit of paper like this, because we don't want too much glue. And now we'll place that and grab our handy pen and push the eye into place. Now I'll do that on our second side. We'll see how it looks under the clear coat. I'm really excited. These aren't the easiest builds through having to foil them, and I still haven't found a perfect way to do that, but practice makes perfect, they used to always say in school, so I trust them, and we'll be trying to get better with that because I really like the detail it adds, and it's not something we're going to be giving up on. So now we have finished our rough lure, and I can say I'm quite happy with it, and we're going to look at it under the clear coat, and then I'll get you guys back for the outro. I'll just quickly prepare everything, then we'll take a short look for the foil itself and see how it comes out, and if we were too heavy with the scales, what we can improve, and then I'll see you guys for the outro. We are finally at the clear coating process where we see how the foil comes through, and so as you see, this time through not going over with too many colors, one really sees a lot of the foil. I'm actually quite happy with how that looks. Both sides are quite nice with the regarding the foil itself, so that is really cool. So I'll get this off hardening and I'll get you guys back once I've finished up the lure and it is ready. But that is really cool. Quite happy that we managed to get a bit more detail out of the foil itself, and we'll see that it even gets a little bit better, but I'm quite happy with how today's bait's build actually worked out, so we'll see each other in a moment. Hi guys, and welcome back to the outro. So as you saw under the clear coat, I am quite happy with how this bait, I hope it focuses. The last one didn't, but I am quite happy with how the foil actually came out. It's quite strong. We'll still work in blending it in a little bit into the lures itself, but I'm pretty sure that this is going to be quite attractive underwater with a little bit of sun. Perfect. So I am really looking forward to see what this lure actually can bring, because it's really cool. And otherwise, we're gonna be testing something like this. So this is the first prototype. I'm still gonna change this fin. I'm not too happy with how it looks. It doesn't blend in too well with the tail. We're gonna look into actually casting the tail itself with some silicone, and I first thought I might do this fin and that fin as well out of silicone, but the problem is through doing the joint, I would have to add two pins right here and there and right here and there that they actually hold properly, and I think that would disrupt the whole look of the lure itself. But we're now just gonna change some things, and then we're gonna be going into a little bit of bigger baits, which is quite exciting. I'm looking forward to it. A bit, a lot bigger hardware, more weight to play around with, and just trying to get some cool big swim baits out there. Maybe I send some to test. I don't know what I'm gonna do with them yet because I can't fish them. So I'm gonna work on the action and just see how well they work. I've got some friends that do really a lot of pike fishing. Might send one with them just to test it and things like that. Just that we don't keep doing one lure itself. I'm trying to also draw some more lures, get behind that a little bit because that has been on a back burner. So we're gonna try and get more lure designs out. Maybe do some vintage lures. The one is still waiting on my desk. I'm still waiting for the screws, but things like that. So thanks again for tuning in and following me on my journey with lure building and how I progress and things I do. We'll be trying different things. I also really don't like the foil, so I actually have got a little tool that I borrowed from my brother. Um, we are going to look into electroplating 3D prints, so we'll be a little bit in the chemical side doing some electroplating because you don't have to then foil them yourself, and it should be quite easy once you got the hang of it. So we're gonna look into that a little bit, and then you don't have the whole problem with a sticker anymore and stuff like that. So you just have to get creative, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see each other for next week's build. I wish you guys a great one, and we'll see each other. Cheers.